Now we they do ourselves in this country. We as Nigerians, we're not really being the people that we think we are. We need to do a lot more work individually before we can really make Nigeria anything that it would be. I think it's because we're just so focused on the Western world and thinking that everything that comes from the outside is just always better. But if we take a pause and we dive deep into what we have, we realize that we have everything we need. The thing that I fear the most is unfortunately the lack of willingness for people to actually do the work. We're now in a place where we don't really use our brains the way we should be. When I say that, I mean we're just so quick to find the easy route, especially with the women. That's why there's the rise of things like BBLs and this and that and this fillers, because you feel as though that's what would get you the money that you don't have to necessarily work for. And I find that there will always be the people that will give you the money for X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, at what cost?
So I'm not necessarily easily excitable, but I'm quite excited to be having this conversation with you, Mufti.
Should I be a little nervous?
That's because I like you. More like I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
And, the moment I came across some of what you were doing, I was like, hey, man, that's the kind of person I want to be talking to. So my first question will be, your name is Mufti.
Yes, sir.
And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I need to speak to Mufti.
You and every other Nigerian.
Are you Mufti or Mufti?
I am Mufti, please.
Okay, but
Mufti.
We Nigerians, we like Mufti,
Yes.
Just saying that because if you schooled in Nigeria, you would have had a teacher tell you, why are you not in your uniform?
Exactly.
Why are you in Mufti?
Why are you? And I'm going to tell you the funniest story ever with this. So when I was young, because I grew up in Nigeria, born and raised. So when I was much younger, I don't remember this, of course, but it's my mom's favorite story to tell people. I think maybe I was 2 or 3, or maybe I don't know what age I was. It was a special day in school, and the principal made an announcement. The principal said, everyone should wear Mufti to school tomorrow. And apparently I went home and I was just crying my eyes out. I could not be consoled. My mom was like, what's wrong? And apparently I was like, the teacher said everybody should wear me to school tomorrow. And she could not console me. She said she has to take me to the principal herself and say, please, you said people should do no, me wear your house clothes. So the principal had to make another announcement. We not say wear Mufti, we say wear your house clothes.
Was that the first time you were hearing Mufti?
I don't remember this. I don't have this memory whatsoever. But my mom, you get her in the room, she will tell you that story within the first 10 minutes.
It's surprising that you've been Mufti from childhood.
Exactly.
Most of us, the name people know us by as we grow, we pick it up as we go. Perhaps somebody first called us that in school and all of that. It looks like you were Mufti from the get-go.
I've always been Mufti. So I think before we moved, people used to call me Muftiat or Muftiya, which is my full name. But as I got older, I realized people don't really pronounce it properly. So Mufti is just easier. But I guess the Mufti was just always a part of my name. And when that guy said to wear me, I was just not having it.
I can imagine. Muftiat, Mufti Jokomba? Where's that from? What language is that? Because Muftiat tells me you are Yoruba.
Muftiya should tell you that I'm
Islam.
Muslim. Yes, Muslim, Arabic inclined.
Yes.
Jokomba it's from Ikorodu. It's as a matter of fact, every single person with that last name, we're all related some ways. We can trace our roots back because it's an Ikorodu name. That's
Jokomba.
Yeah. Well, it's Jokoniwamba too. Don't ask me who's decided to funkify it and take out syllables. I don't know. That's just the name that I have.
It's a beautiful name and it's pretty expressive.
And I feel like it agrees with me. I'm a very calm and chill person.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, sounds like mind your own business.
Exactly.
Exactly. Don't
overdo yourself.
Don't,
I mean, I don't have strength to overdo, so I couldn't even if I wanted to.
It's one of my favorite Yoruba names now. Along the lines of names like Ajimoto Kan, which I hear that one of my our colleagues in the media once pronounced as Ajimoto Kon. Now, Mr. Ajimoto Kon was, I hear, the Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State at the time. Probably some vehicles were missing. I don't know what happened, but
It was just making sense.
yeah, this newscaster said, well, according to the Commissioner for Transportation, something Ajimoto Kon. Ha!
Some cars went missing.
I heard she lost her job.
Ooh, I mean,
And then somebody explained to me the basis for the name.
Okay.
Ajimoto Kon. It's a traditional family. That's, when they say alakpa stainless, they are always neat. In that family, even if somebody knocked on your door at 5 a.m., you'll be like, hold on a second. You powder your nose,
together.
put yourself together, comb your hair.
Wow.
They were notorious for never being caught on fresh. Ajimoto Kon.
I get it now.
Spotless.
Yes. I like that.
Interesting. I was looking at your profile.
Okay.
You graduated magna cum laude
Yes, sir. I
in the
did.
U.S.
Howard University. Bison for life. HU,
You sabi book.
And
And here's the thing. How old were you when you ended up in the U.S.?
I moved around 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, my mom had moved before us. So it was just me, my brother, my sister living in Nigeria by ourselves. And then she did the process. And then we went to join her. And it's just been life since then.
So 8, 9. You speak impeccable Yoruba. And I hear your pidgin is equally great.
We did run down too now.
How far? If you moved to the U.S. at 8,
Right.
what happened? I mean, how were you able to be this fluent with the local lingo?
I like to tell people that even though I live in America, my house, the moment you step into my house, you're in Nigeria. Especially when my mom is at home. It's even on the TV, we don't watch American TV. We're watching YouTube movies and everything like that. Like that's just the way it is. Exactly. But when we first moved, my mom wanted us to integrate into the system. So she had a rule, no Yoruba in the house. And then after a while, she noticed we were losing our Yoruba. And then she was like, that's not going to happen. So it was no English in the house. And I think that's just the way I was able to get both balance and I could just switch so easily. It's all thanks to Alaja at the end of the day.
Alaja, you do well. You do well. Well done. I see you.
Yes.
Bosa.
Bosa.
How is she though?
She's well. She just went back actually. She's in a place, because I'm the youngest, so she's in a place where it's just whatever mood she's in. She could be in Nigeria today and then she wants to go back and she would just book a ticket and go. Yeah.
So you're officially the Ebaje of the family.
I am. I won't deny it. Last born, last born,
Thank God for your life.
Oh.
Because, last borns can be, what they say.
We can, but again, Alaja doesn't tolerate such. Okay. So even if I wanted to.
Lucky you. So you are a Nigerian-American doctor of physical therapy and international model.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows you as the model PT. What's that?
Literally what you just said. I'm a model and a physical therapist. The model PT, yeah.
The model PT. You specialize in musculoskeletal and neurological physiotherapy. And you run the Move with Mufti, which is a wellness initiative that teaches accessible movement habits.
Right.
I saw a video of you recently.
Okay.
I would think that was on New Central. Just a short clip, but it was loaded. Right. I liked what you said about pain, and I picked up what you said about before you get out of bed, just turn here, turn there.
Absolutely.
You're also a cultural entrepreneur. You co-founded The One. Which is an experience-based African lifestyle brand. What can't you do?
That list is long. Man, don't give you. That list is long.
It's a good thing, if you ask
Thank you.
me. It's a good thing. So let me start from your area of interest.
Okay.
You are really very concerned about pain and trying to help people understand it, help people avoid it.
Right.
I liked what you said about Eforiru, which is brilliant because, I've been taking some supplements recently, and you were listing some of the supplements I've started taking recently. But I was also drawn to the fact that we assume that our food in this part of the world is usually mineral deficient.
Absolutely.
And you don't seem to agree.
Not at all. It's quite the opposite, actually. A lot of things that in Nigeria we just use as just snacks, just like zobo, for example, it's packed with so much antioxidants. It's packed with so much nutrients and goodness for us that to us it's just oh, it's just zobo, it's just efo, it's just kunu, it's just tiger nut. But these are things that actually have so much benefits for us that we don't realize. I think it's because we're just so focused on the Western world and thinking that everything that comes from the outside is just always better. But if we take a pause and we dive deep into what we have, we realize that we have everything we need. It's just the manner in which we make it that might need some tweaking here and there so you can actually get the benefits. But aside from that, you have everything you need in your local market, to be very honest.
I like that. You did mention magnesium, which is important, especially when you're male and you are in your 40s, 50s.
Right.
You need those supplements. And I've been taking one of recent.
Okay.
Each capsule is like this. And to get to 86% of my recommended daily allowance, I have to take 3 of
Oh my God.
three. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, no.
Why do I have to swallow? And then I saw that interview. I was like, oh, bless this lady. Man, I don't want to take more Eforiro and more Egusi for me.
Please eat more of the things that are local in your food. Things like Iru. A lot of the ingredients that we have. See, I don't like to use medicine. I'm sorry to my nurses and my MDs.
Me neither.
I don't
Just like that.
Yeah.
I'm probably dying by the time I begin to pop pills. And some
Exactly.
people wonder how I survived. I'm like, no, I didn't survive. Despite of that, I survived. I think I'm this healthy more because of that.
Exactly.
I know people who need up to 4 to 6 or more tablets of basic paracetamol to help them cope with pain.
And that's so crazy to me because the side effects of these things are so much more worse than whatever benefit you're going to get from it. Paracetamol, Panadol, all these things, yeah, they might, and they don't really ever solve the problem. That's what I like to tell people. It's like just putting a Band-Aid on this big gashing wound. It might stop bleeding for a while, but that doesn't mean that the actual problem has been fixed. That doesn't mean that the actual problem has been solved. So why wouldn't you just address the problem instead of just putting fixes on it? I don't understand it. I know it's easier. It's easier to just pop a pill than it is to spend 15 minutes doing a stretch. But if the results will give you more compounds, why don't you just do that then?
I can't wait to go into your childhood, especially growing up in the US. And I want to also ask, especially little birdie tells me you grew up in a single with a single mom household.
I did.
So I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But since we're already talking about your practice and the benefits of going the natural route.
Right.
Usually when a Niger person says this, people like, but you're a doctor, a physiotherapist, you've schooled abroad in the West, you've lived there.
Right.
You're the one telling us that there are natural alternatives.
Absolutely.
And all of that. So if you could just dive into it just a little bit in terms of pain, coping with, lower back pains, knee pains, and all of that. What are the basic things you recommend for people?
I would just say mobility within your capacity, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to use my mom as an example. Love her to death, but she's kind of off that same mentality where she would rather take a pill because it's just easier to do. But then when she does start doing the exercises that I tell her to do, she's always calling me, oh my shishe,
Imagine.
I did it and it's not paining me anymore. Oh, I did it. I'm doing it every morning now. And kiniko. I'm like, well, yeah. It's not like your daughter is just telling you this. And that's another thing too, because when it comes from someone that's close to you, you're more inclined to just like dismiss it as opposed to when it's like a stranger trying to tell you these things. So when you do have things like back pain, knee pain, shoulder pain, whatever, mobility is usually what you want to do to help you fix it. When your body is giving you pain signals, let's say your shoulder is stiff and you can't move it past a certain point. Now, sometimes you might need a trained professional to kind of help you move it. Maybe something is stuck. Maybe there's some muscular adhesions there. But a lot of times you can do these things yourself. It just might not feel as good as going to get a massage because we all like to get massages, you know. I won't lie. I love a good massage. But a stretch would do the same thing, if not more, than a massage would. Because one, now you're training your body to move. The brain and body connection, it's also building a little bit more. And then when you yourself can learn the certain things that you need to do, your body will start to respond in that way. So in the New Central interview you were talking about, I talked about doing lower trunk rotations. Laying on your back before you even get out of bed, moving your knees side to side. It helps you kind of unlock your lower back, especially because you've been laying down, you've been sleeping. So before you even get out of bed, you want to do that. If you have knee pain, do knee slides. Literally just the same concept. You're laying down flat, you bend your knee to a certain point. When it starts to hurt, stay there for a couple of seconds and then come out of it. That doesn't mean push past the pain. Oh, no pain, no gain. We're not doing that. We're just moving slowly. We're appreciating what our body is telling us. We're being in tune with our body and then moving forward as you feel like you're able to. Does that make sense?
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. No doubt.
Do I need to give you some stretch regimens?
Yeah, because I've seen people go through pain. I lost my dad 3 years ago, and the last moments were pretty painful.
Yeah.
So when I hear people, and I've seen young people too, going through pain, sometimes inexplicably. You're so young. Why are you grappling with pain? And then these things. I have a chiropractor friend who taught me a few things years back. Some simple things,
Nice.
like what bathing with hot water does for you, the benefits and all of that for your bones and stuff. And before that, some of us thought it was macho to bathe in cold water.
I mean, it does have its benefits as well.
Yeah,
you know?
well, for different things. But
Exactly. For different
if your bones
things.
ache,
Then you don't want to put any coat on it.
yeah, certainly.
Exactly. And you need the warmth to help you kind of ease joint tension, ease muscular tension, and all those things to kind of like add up. And that's why I said the little things too. Like I just got this shea butter. I love shea butter. I don't
Ori.
know why. Imatoriba locked in. I've been using shea butter since I was like 14. I don't put anything else on my skin. That's just what I use. But I just met this natural, like botanical woman a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me how she has like all this herbs that she would mix it when you ewe kinikon, palebe kafra. And I don't know what any of these things mean. I just said, just make it and just give it to me. And I put it on my neck because I have like a little bit of neck pain sometimes. So I just kind of rubbed it on there. And 5 minutes later, I felt so much better. And I'm like, there's nothing I could have bought from any store, from any like source that could have done this. And this is something that she's just as a matter of fact, she's on the mainland. So she's not even like an island. She's just this woman. She's just really well in tune with the botanical things, with the natural herbs that like God has given us. Because when you look into nature, everything you really need at the end of the day is there and is available to you. We've just been so like, I don't know what word to use, but as Africans, because not just Nigerians in particular, as Africans, we've just been so conditioned to like be averse to the things that is available to us. And that's because the Western world, it's all marketing at the end of the day. They just want to make their money and they're using us as guinea pigs. They're using us as like just forcing down our throat. When meanwhile, we have everything that we need within our fingertips.
No doubt. Is it me, or are strokes on the rise nowadays? I know, I mean, you're a physiotherapist, and this is more cardiac and pulmonary, whatever it is, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still right up your alley,
Absolutely,
right?
because there's still PTs that are like cardiac PTs.
Yes, certainly. Do you have any insights as to why we seem to be seeing an explosion of strokes amongst the elderly, but even amongst younger people
Younger
these days?
people. I can't really say I have like an inclination, but if I was to take a gander at it, I would say we're now in a place where like we don't really use our brains the way we should be. And when I say that, I mean like we're just so quick to find the easy route. The brain is a muscle, just like any other muscle in your body. The
Yeah.
more you use it, the stronger it gets.
becomes.
And because things like ChatGPT exist now, we could just put things into Google, simple time, 10 times 10. You don't want to do the math in your head. You just want to pull out your phone and Google it. When we're not using the muscle as much as we should be, we start to lose function. And yes, your brain is able to shrink if you're not using it as much as you can. And that's what will lead to things like dementia, strokes, some brain aneurysms, because you're not using your entire function as much as you're able to. So if I was to guess, I would say it has something to do with that.
Yeah, it's pretty understandable. I mean, your brain forms new synapses every time you learn
Absolutely.
something new, or every time
Absolutely.
you push it. So if you're not pushing it, you're not exercising it, you're not
Not at
strengthening
all.
it.
Not at all. And the same other side, every time you go for the easy route, your brain is learning that and accepting that, okay, that's just what we do now. And it's going to continue that way if you don't change your ways.
All right, we'll probably come back to pain and medicine in a bit. So I just want to talk about your childhood.
Okay.
You grew up in a single mom scenario. Nigerians tend to be a bit stereotypical about people who grow up in, they're like, I don't know. What was your experience like growing up with just your mom?
It was a little different because my dad passed when I was like 7. And before that, it was very much like your typical Nigerian household. And the funny thing is, before my dad passed, my mom had just recently moved to America. She relocated before we all did. So she made the move, and within like, I want to say 6-7 months, my dad passed. So it was just me and my siblings. And we spent a lot of time bouncing around between aunts and uncles. And I hate to say it, but people aren't always the best, and they don't always have your best intentions at heart. They saw that, oh, their mom is in America. I'm a fool on Shesili. So we were just really like more of a cash cow for them. And it got to a point where me and my siblings, mind you, my brother, who's the oldest, he was like 16 at the time. We put our foot down. We were like, no, we don't want to stay with any more siblings. We don't want to stay with any more aunts and uncles. We're not trying to do that anymore. So my mom got us a place by herself. And imagine a house of 16, 15, and like a 7-8-year-old living by ourselves in the whole house. It was a party almost every other day. And they just graduated from SS3 secondary school. They just graduated. So like we were just out and about. So I can't really say we ever really had the stigma of the single mother or single parent household, because after we were in our place for a while, we moved to America and then we were with my mom for the rest of it. So within Nigeria, we never really had that like stigmatized situation, but there was always like the mental resilience of like having to be so independent. I think that's why me and my siblings were all really quite independent, because we didn't have a choice but to learn how to cope by ourselves.
So your siblings, are they all girls?
No, I have one brother and one sister.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both married. They both have kids. I have the cutest little nieces and nephew. They're my heart.
Let me guess, everyone else is still overseas.
Yes.
abroad.
They all think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. So explain why you're back here.
Easy answer is I was tired of working. It's the easiest answer I can give you. Because like I said, we've always been like independent. So even when we did move, as early as I could get a job, I got a job. Because is a single mother. She's raising 3 kids, doing that in America, sending them to school, paying for it's really hard. So we all kind of had that mental like capacity. The moment we could get a job, we got a job. So I've been working since I was 17. I went to college. Luckily, I was on scholarship, so I didn't need to work, but I did because I wanted to have spending money. After college, a lot of people would take like a break, a little. I didn't. I went straight.
Travel around.
Yeah, no. Went straight into physical therapy school. And then my physical therapy school was a hybrid accelerated program. So instead of 3 years, I got my DPT in 2 years. So what that meant was I was in school year round. And when I finally graduated, I was supposed to take a break. That didn't work out. And I just went straight into the work field. So I've worked for like 2-3 years as a physical therapist. And I was just getting to a point last year where I was like, I'm tired. I am tired. I want to go somewhere. I think I want to leave America because you can't really be in America and not working. Even if you have like money saved up, it will still catch up to you really quickly. So I was like, okay, I want to leave the country. I want to go somewhere else. Where can I go? And I'm really of the mentality that no matter where I'm going, I'm going to be funneling my money into that economy. I'm going to be hiring people. Whatever I'm doing, my money is going to be going into that community. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well come back home and do that in my community because there's always, the government, there's no job, there's no clinical. So if whatever I can do to kind of help with the society, I decided I'll do it. And that's why I chose Nigeria.
So here you are.
Here I am.
When did you arrive?
About last year. It's been almost a year now.
Almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
So let me ask you, when you were coming, weren't you worried? And if you weren't worried then, how about now? Aren't you worried that the state of the nation, the economy, this country, don't you fear that the country might go up in flames like a lot of people seem to suggest? Doesn't any of that bother you?
A little bit more now than when I was initially moving. I'm not going to lie. There's a difference between the ideology, you're thinking what you're thinking, and when you arrive, you're like, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But coming in, I was good. But now I'm not in a place like, I'm kind of seeing why, and I hate to say this, and I'm gonna look to the camera when I say this, and you people might crucify me. Now we they do ourselves in this country, because as much as we want to throw blame to like the system, when it comes to individual interactions, how you're dealing with people and how you're like handling your business matters a lot. And I feel like we as Nigerians, we're not really being the people that we think we are. I know a lot of people say, oh, if it was me that was in government, but the way you treat the next person is going to be the same way you treat the entire like nation when you have a bigger platform to work on. So I feel like we need to do a lot more work individually before we can really like make Nigeria anything that it would be. And I don't want that's crumbling the country at the end of the day. That's just it.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Have you had any funny incidents where maybe funny is not the word, maybe transporting yourself around town or being taken advantage of one way or the other?
A little bit too much, which is why I can like confidently say now we did do ourselves. So like I said, when I first came, I wanted to put into the system. So one of my first major things was to hire an assistant. First person, before I even go into it, I ran through 5 assistants within a span of 2 months. And that, that blew me. Because I'm like, I don't think it's me. I feel like I'm a very calm and easy person to work with. And I came to learn that was the problem. I was too chill. I was too accommodated. I let them get comfortable too quickly. Comfortable, that's what people told me. I let them get comfortable too quickly. So first assistant, he didn't have any sort of qualifications. He was a family friend. My mom knows his mom. His mom was telling my mom that like he just graduated civil engineering, first class. He's very intelligent, X, Y, and Z, but the way of the country, he doesn't have a job. So if she knows anyone that's hiring, they should please like put him on. So my mom told me about it and she was like, oh, I should hire him as my assistant. And I was like, civil engineering, well, I need someone that be doing video, doing editing, kineko. My mom was like, I should just try. I said, okay. In one way, I guess it's a good thing because then I can mold him and really train him in the way.
Probably told you, I can do CapCut.
There's nothing he told me he could do. And I was just like, don't worry, I will still train you at the end of the day. We did it. The first time we went on a thing together, he was like, maybe he was too full of himself, Neo. I don't understand. You are here to record video. Why are you holding phone like this? But I had to stop at the event and be like, yo, this is how you should record the video. This is how you should. He caught on a little bit well. The first two, because this was during Fashion Week last year, so we did like the 2 days of Fashion Week. I would go pick him up from his house, drop him back off. I don't know why they're doing such things in Lagos, but that's really how I was treating this boy. And like I was telling him, if there's anything, my biggest thing is communication. Don't think, oh, if I tell Mufti this, she's going to get angry. I might get angry, but I'd rather you tell me and we talk about it, and then you try to just like do whatever you feel like is right. So we finished the events and I tell him, come to the house on Sunday so I can show you how to edit. I can show you how to properly use my camera, how to use this, how to da. He said, okay, no problem. I said, be at the house at 2 p.m. My phone rings at 2:07. I was like, oh crap, maybe he's been sitting at the gate for a while. So I panic and I pick up the call. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm coming. He was like, the transport fare to your house is too much. Oh, I don't have any money. I said, what? It was like, yeah. So I said, you haven't left your house? I'm still at home. I don't have any money. I can't. So you think, mind you, you've known this for like 2 days. At no point did you go try to see how much it was. And let's even say you waited until the day of. It is 2:07. I told you to get to my house at 2 o'clock. So that means you are just now trying to leave your house. Why do you think that's okay? Assistant number 2. I told him this exact same story. Why would he do that? That's so crazy. Why would he kill? It's always us that was spoiling ourselves. But it should have really hurt him.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, your head is correct. I don't know. Same story. I told him, come to the house, meet me at 2 o'clock. This one was even, it's me that will be calling Uber for him. And I was paying him a month's salary. That's how, again, meet at the house at 1 o'clock. At 1:30, he calls me. I'm ready. You're ready for what? To be coming to your house now. It's 1:30. What do you mean? The events that I'm at this event and it just took longer. So at no point did you think to send me a text, hey Mufti, I'm running a little late. That's all it would have cost you. Just send me a text. And it's almost the same thing that happened for 2-3 other ones. The last one where I was just like, you know what? I don't need assistance again. It's fine. I will do it myself. That one, we worked for 2 weeks and then he was like, oh, mind you, before I hired him, I was like, do you need any days off? He said, no, he's fine. He can work any day, anytime. Okay, no problem. All of a sudden, after 2 weeks of working, oh, I want to go to our village. I just need like 3 days off. No problem. I said, okay, as long as you're back by this certain day, because I had a major event. And the day I hired him, I told him about that date. This is a very important date. No matter what, you have to be here. So he was like, oh, don't worry, I'll make it back in time. Okay, no problem. And can I get an advance? Okay, no problem. How much do you want? It's not logical to give me money for 2 weeks. I've worked for 2 weeks. I said, what do you mean? Do you think it's logical to have worked for 2 weeks and be asking for time off and asking for money on top of that? Does that make sense to you? And then he just like stood there and smiled. And I was just like, okay, don't worry. It's not your fault. I gave him the money. 3 days turned to 5 days. 5 days turned into him not making it for the event I told him about. And then he just called me like a week later and was like, oh, I'm at your estate. Can you send me the code? What? What? And since then, I was just like, you know what? I'm fine. I'll hire a videographer if I need someone to do coverage. Anything else I need to do, I would just do it myself. It might take longer, but I'll just do it myself.
You don't have a personal assistant right now?
Right now, I do not. I'm looking, I'm not going to lie, but as you have seen, they have shown me Shiggy in Lagos.
Pseudo premium
Ah,
Shiggy.
so, very, very premium Shiggy.
So, I mean, the whole thing is it's quite connected, quite intertwined. The work culture here is radically different compared to what you're used to in the West.
Absolutely.
And anybody who's lived there and worked there knows this. The culture shock when you get here is pretty intense. Which also brings me back to Nigeria. Is there anything that's a major concern for you with the state of the nation that you fear the most? And do you have an exit plan? You've been here close to a year. Yeah.
The thing that I fear the most is unfortunately the lack of willingness for people to actually do the work. I've noticed, and especially with the younger generations, we just want, I won't say we, but I guess I'm part of the generation, so I include myself. It's not just a shekekere, no issue at all. I don't want to do any work. And I feel like that's why the rise of
I want it all and I want it now.
And I want it now. And especially with the women, like that's why there's the rise of things like BBLs and this and that and this fillers, because you feel as though that's what would get you the money that you don't have to necessarily work for. And it just really hurts me so much when I see these things, because I'm like, technically you are kind of working, but it's just a job that's just not, like, you can't really go out and say, this is what I do. You can't do that with pride. And I find that, like, there will always be the people that will give you the money for X, Y, and Z. But, like, at the end of the day, at what cost is it? And even for the men, like, a lot of men, I have this videographer that I hired. He did half the job and then gave me sub story. Oh, his sister is in labor. My Ojuanu is very, maybe that's another problem too. I need to find the wickedness in my heart. And I gave him the other half of his money. And to date, I have not heard back. And it's just like, why? Why do you feel as though you need to cheat someone out? Why do you feel as though you need to get one up on someone? And it's just easy. Like, a lot of people, they just want, when they meet you, and not just me, I feel like it's just anyone. When you interact with someone, you're just always thinking, what can I get from this person? How much can I get? And I want it all and I want it now. And I'm not thinking about the future. Nigerians, I feel as though they don't really think about the long term. It's just always about the short term. What can I get now? And how can I get the most that I can now? Now, in terms of an exit plan, I won't lie, I need a break. I need to step back for a bit. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to just be like, all right, I'm going to see y'all in a couple of months. And that's going to get put into place pretty soon. But yes, I need just a little time out. A little bit.
I know that feeling. I've seen it in a number of friends. A friend of mine moved his family back to Nigeria, wife and kids. And
oh, wow.
He was like, nah, I'm done with this. And, and then they come home a couple of weeks later. I know, I could tell that it's not going to work.
Yeah.
In any case, everybody's run right back.
Right.
So for you, we're still hovering around that question. For some people, it's security concerns. For others, it's the economy.
Right.
And then when you've lived abroad, you've worked abroad, you've made some dollars. Initially, you're not so bothered about the economy.
Initially, yeah.
Because,
but our exchange rate is not looking nice.
And then when you begin to exhaust it, and all of a sudden, whatever you're doing here, best case scenario, you're going to be making Naira. And you're thinking like that. So do you, for you, which one is are you worried about the security infrastructure, some of the things that you see on social media? If you follow social media, you probably think everybody's running, shouting Egbamio every day.
Absolutely.
Well, again, these things are there, but there are flashpoints. And there's also the fear that it could potentially get worse.
Right.
For you, what is it? Do you have security concerns, economic concerns, and things like that?
Excuse me. I think because I'm very Lagos confined,
Based, so
you know, I have to be very honest. Like there's aside from what you see on social media, if I wasn't on social media, I would have no idea that there's any sort of like security things going on in like Nigeria. And I feel like it's the same for a lot of people. And unfortunately, there's the fear mongering that's happening online. Like my mom right now, even though she just left last week, she has been in Lagos. She knows what like the concern is not as vast in Lagos. She's been sending me videos. Joe, be careful. Duh, 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 duh. And I'm just like, you were just here. You know that here doesn't really have as much concerns as you would think. And there's also the aspect of like, yeah, there's the fear, but it's so politically like based that if you're being really honest about it and you really look at the thing in like the broad aspect, because I heard that they just released some of the girls. They just released like some of the people that were, some of the teachers, some of the girls that were taken.
Yeah, about 38 or something of that.
Exactly, but there were no arrests being made. There was no.
Yeah, which raised
exactly
other questions. And I saw an interview by Bayo on Anuga, and look, I don't have a personal opinion about the guy, but I didn't think he did himself or the government much service with the answers he gave, because they asked him just a few days later, and you got what, 38. So how did you secure their release? And then he said, yeah, the security agencies know these people. They know these bandits.
Can you imagine?
They know them. So they know how to. So what are you saying? Oh,
that's telling us.
So you know,
really need to know.
And at a time where some people have made accusations about potential collusion between the security operatives, we hear things like
you can rehabilitate them.
Like we hear things like rehabilitation is the back door for them into the military.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, there are rumors like that these people, when they say they drop, they end up in the army.
Absolutely.
And if you already radicalize and you can pick up a knife and cut somebody's head off,
why should
and now you should now wear legal Nigerian uniform and all of that. Again, these things. Now, we don't know how much of it is true.
Right.
But in the midst of all these rumors, if a governmental spokesman is saying things like, you know what, the security agencies know these people, so they just gone there and asked them, please bring them back, bring some of them back unharmed. I'm like, I was going to run into a wall.
Good.
And so, again, you know, I usually run from these conversations because you're just going to go crazy.
Absolutely.
But that said, you've also heard about the whole genocide thing, the religious connotations, the political connotations.
Absolutely.
You grew up in Trump country, and you probably have your own opinion. Do you
100%.
personally believe there's a Christian genocide going on?
Not at all, because they're killing Muslims and Christians equally. But
you agree there is a genocide?
There's absolutely a genocide. There's absolutely something going on that we don't know the cause. Because when there's a genocide going on, there's usually a reason, right? When people kidnap people, they usually ask for a ransom. They usually have demands. But we're not seeing that. There is no like, oh, give us X amount of money. Oh, if you do X, Y, and Z, none of that. They're just snatching kids to be snatching kids. And that's why like my red flags keep going off, because why? If we're to take Israel, for example, the genocide is going on because they want Palestinians to leave the land. That's why they're doing that. Everyone knows that that's their reason, that's their cause. But then when you bring the same concept here, they're killing Christians, they're killing Muslims, they're kidnapping children, they're kidnapping adults. What is your end goal? What are you like? Are you just doing these things because it's just fun to do? What is like the thought process behind it? And that's what I'm just really, if I could sit down and ask these people, that's what do you want? But I don't think anyone's having these conversations. We're just doing things like, oh, they know each other, so they will just release some of them to us. how is that going to solve any problem? Because tomorrow they could just decide, okay, they release this 38, so we're going to snatch 70 more. How is that going to solve anything?
It's stressful the more you think about it. So it brings me to, so this is this is the US.
Right.
Here. This is Nigeria.
Hey, what are you about to do?
So US, Nigeria.
What are you about to do?
Where do you think, mental health is more at risk or better, and why?
I would have to say it's better in America. And the only reason why I say that...
Oh, my Nigeria.
I love you, I do. The only reason why I say that is because no matter how bad it gets in America, there's always resources available to you. You can always reach out to a therapist that will actually help you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't exist in Nigeria, but as someone that has been through therapy in America and in Nigeria, the difference is so vast. Right? Like a therapist, or at least my therapist, love her to death, she would give you like objective opinions. She would give you, as a matter of fact, she will use your own thought processes and then flip it in a way that you would be like, oh, I didn't even think of it that way. As compared to the Nigerian therapist, that will just tell you what's to do. I will never forget the first therapy session I had with a Nigerian therapist. And she was like, hey, just don't worry about it. Just shake it or shake. And I'm like,
I'm pray to God.
You just manage. You just, and I'm like, do you think this is what therapy is supposed to look like?
You don't rate us, Mufti.
It's evidence.
Oh, rate you.
When evidence choke,
They really choke.
I have evidence. I'm not just pulling things. I'm not just saying it.
I know. The therapist herself needed therapy. And, such is the case. So there are resources.
There are a lot more resources, a lot more accessible. It's a lot more like substantial.
Okay.
For lack of a better word.
But there are positives here too.
Absolutely.
It's just that Tobalano, you are your own.
You are, and that's another thing. You have to, take things by... you know how you gauge it. Now it's not everything they'll tell you. You just consume and be using like they want to have for policy. You know which one you should go for, which one is probably not the best of ideas. That's what you need in Nigeria. The acumen.
It's a lot. There's the beauty of this conversation I'm having with you is that you're quite logical. You've looked at the pros and cons, and you are quite honest and straightforward enough to say, okay, when I was getting all excited. I'm going. I'm going home.
Bro, the ginger that I
that
had.
ginger. The ginger is a little reduced.
They have told me to Joko J.
Yeah. Do you fear that if you try to take a break, you might just, might be difficult for you to come back?
I'm not gonna lie. There's definitely a part of me that's like, I might go back and be like, why am I even disturbing myself? But these type of conversations are the reasons why I would definitely want to come back, because we need this more in Nigeria than you do in America, because you have those resources already. Those resources aren't as readily available in Nigeria. You don't really have an outside voice telling you that what you have within you is more than enough already. So for that reason, because at the end of the day, I'm very, very, very Nigerian. I might sound like this when I open my mouth, but that's just the way that is. But in my heart, in my soul, I'm very Nigerian, and I want the better for us. And if that means I have to come back and deal with all the basketballs, if that's what we need to do, then that's what we need to do. As long as at the end of the day, I'm reaching, if it's just 1%, if it's just 5%, if I'm reaching those people and I'm resonating with them, then that's really all I ever need.
How are you though? How are you dealing with your own personal stresses and frustrations, your mental health? The physician needs the physician too.
Absolutely.
Often.
Absolutely. I meditate a lot. I'm not going to lie. Every morning, 10 minutes, YouTube. And that's what I'll tell a lot of people too. Go on YouTube. There's this page called Guided Meditations. I know when people think meditation, think sit down and be doing, that's not really... That's not really
I
what.
say honeybee.
I mean, that's what, when I tell people I meditate, they be like, it's so much, so now sit down like this. No, you don't have to do any of that. Just like you'll listen to a song, is a 10-minute video, and they'll tell you exactly what to do. And you might not get it right the first 2, 3, 4 times, but by the 5th time, you will notice a difference in the way you interact. Even the way you have conversations with yourself mentally, you will notice the difference. And with that, it has made such like a huge change, and it kind of fortifies me before I step out to face the world. And I feel like that's the biggest thing a lot of people don't do. You just wake up and you're money on the mind, you're just on go mode. But if you could spend 10, 15 minutes before you even move, get out of your bed, do the lower trunk rotations, do a couple of things to move your body, and then get your mind right. Even if you don't listen, because with data, I understand. Even if you do that, just lay there and just take a couple of deep breaths. Feel how you feel in your body. How is my body feeling today? How do I want to go and attack the world today? When you do that, you kind of fortify yourself before. It makes the biggest difference in how you even interact with other people.
No doubt. No doubt it does. So earlier on, I talked about, your profile and all the things you are and all the things you do. I didn't say so much about the fact that you're also a model.
Yes, sir.
Fashion model. You've been on some big global stages, runways. You've been on the LA Fashion Runway.
LA Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week.
New York Fashion Week.
Yeah, I've done Houston, like Texas a little bit too, but not a whole lot there.
Do you sometimes experience things like what they call like imposter syndrome, like combining modeling with physiotherapy and all these other things? I mean, how do you deal with it? Because sometimes some people might find it tough bringing them together.
I do too. Absolutely. I have imposter syndrome a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just like you said, it's like having to put on a different like crown or a different like helmet every time. But one thing I always say is no matter what room I'm in, whether it's being a physical therapist, whether it's being a model, or whether it's just being Mufti, at the end of the day, whatever got me into that room is me, myself, and I. Maybe it's my knowledge. Maybe it's my like ability to communicate properly. I just have to keep reminding myself that you got you in this room. Even if someone recommends you, the reason why your recommendation was accepted is because they saw the value in you as a person. So when you continue to accept that, and that's why, again, it goes back to meditation, because when you have time to really just be with yourself, tap into your inner processes, you realize that like, okay, maybe on the outside, it looks like this person is just everywhere, but you have your direction. You know why you're doing the things that you're doing. And that's why I could step into any room and just be Mufti.
I would like you to start thinking of something about you that most people will be surprised to learn about, but that will come. So I just give you some time to think about it.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I wanted to go back to your line of work.
Okay.
Arthritis, chronic back pain, balance, and all of that. Is it possible for an expert to tell that a young person might be susceptible at some point in their life?
Susceptible to what?
To chronic back pain, arthritis.
100%.
Family history, or
I don't even need a whole lot of family history. So as a physical therapist, one of the biggest things you learn is how to assess a person. So if you were to stand up right now, I could just look at you and tell you, you probably have pain on this side of your body. This is probably imbalanced, because when you learn to like see the human anatomy as opposed to seeing the person, you learn to like pick up on the differences. And I'm actually doing a residency right now at this gym on the island. And one of the things that I do before I even touch them, because I like to assess and reassess, so you actually see that whatever I did works, because the difference between when I see it and the difference between when you yourself, you realize it. So yesterday, one of the things I was doing is I was working on this guy. He told me he had like he like hurt his ankle a long time ago and blah, 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 blah. So when he stood, he showed me like my ankle turns in this way. And I was like, yeah, like this side is more whatever, whatever. We did the work. And then after I was like, reassess yourself. And before I even said anything, he was like, oh, you fixed it. Like, well, yeah, because first of all, thankfully I'm good at what I do. Thank God for that. But also I'm able to look at you like and remove whatever personal thing might be there. I can look at you objectively and just look at you for like whatever balances. Because the way you walk, exactly, the way you sit, the way you walk, the way you like carry yourself, do you put more weight on one side of your body than the other? All those things, especially if you stay in those patterns, would definitely translate when you get older. So yeah, I can easily just like pick things out on people.
I mean, I tend to slouch when I sit. When I was a kid, I was so restless. I couldn't even sit on my butt.
Oh my God.
You know, I would sit on my head, sit on my shoulders, you know, but it was ridiculous. My dad used to be worried. Why can't you just sit still?
I know, ballet.
You know, I could sit upside down to watch TV.
Hey, good.
You know, just.
But that's
sometimes
just
even now,
though.
I still feel like I'm still somewhat like that. If I'm watching football, I'm caught in between sitting and lying, you know. And I know that if you stay in that position for long,
Exactly.
But here's one thing that I'm interested in that you might have insights to. Is it true that most people don't have the exact same length of limbs?
That's just anatomy. There's no one that's ever really like perfect on both sides. I relate to something called leg asymmetry, where there's one part of your body that's always longer, and that originates from our spine.
Our spine.
Because our spine is always a little bit more shifted than the other. And the more you train your body to have certain habits, the more it would translate through your body. So if you were to stand, I could probably see that you're probably a little bit more rotated than the other. You might not even know that you are until I point it out to you. And then you'd be like, oh, that's probably why this side is always shaking it more than the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't have any training, but I've checked because I noticed a long time ago that my reach on my left hand was higher than my reach on my right. There are places. And I also noticed that my left leg is slightly longer.
Yeah. So that means your spine is a little bit curved in the opposite way.
And I knew that when I was in high school because, you know, I realized that I can't quite remember how I became aware of it. It's slight, but it's there.
Absolutely.
For some people, it's half an inch or less. For other people, it's more severe.
More, absolutely.
For some people, it's so severe that you need two different heels for your shoes and all of that. But, you know, for people, and a lot of people don't even pay attention until you tell them, reach with your left hand. And then you see how high they go. You tell them, they are now reach with your right hand. And then they find out.
Which is why I'm impressed that you know in high school, that's a lot of body awareness that you have that a lot of people don't have.
So I've dealt with that. And as a youth, I used to read about it. I used to fear what could be done. What do I need to do? I read up stuff. Some people would add a little extra half inch to their shoes and stuff like that. But that would be too dramatic, especially for us here. What would you advise?
I would advise to move your spine. Like, I'm a physical therapist, so almost everything that I'm going to tell you will come back to mobility. And that's because as human beings, our body is made to move. So if you notice that maybe you're leaning to one side more than the other, maybe your left hand reach is a little bit more than your right hand reach, then how about you start consciously reaching that left arm or that right arm to try to see if you can get it higher? Because what that would do is it starts to move your body, starts to retrain your body. Aside from like the little minuscule, like just natural anatomical differences that you might have, your daily habits would translate into that. So how are you sitting? Are you always slouch? Or are you always a little bit shifted to the right? Then yeah, of course, the right side will be longer than the left side if you're just always training your body to be in that direction. So the biggest thing would be body awareness, finding ways to like correct yourself and just always being like, okay, how long have I been sitting in this one position? How long have I not moved my body intentionally? Because I know in Lagos, you're always on the move, But the difference between moving to move and then moving intentionally. Because what that does is you add things like your breath into it. When you're moving intentionally, you're a lot more conscious of how you do what you're doing, as opposed to just doing it to do it.
Thank you for that. Are you in love, though?
Am I in love with myself? I love me some Mufti. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. So I was wondering, what's your thoughts of the average Nigerian man?
You're deep.
Deep.
I think the average Nigerian man has been forced into a certain role that no human should really ever be in. As Nigerian and as Nigerian men, there's so much pressure to perform. There's so much pressure to like be X, Y, and Z. There's so much pressure to be a man. And my brother does this too, and I tell him all the time because he has a son. Like, he's always like, oh, you have to be a man. No, he has to be a human being. He has to be a child because that's what he is. And even when you're older, like, don't get me wrong, I understand there are bills that need to be paid. You have, like, children, you have family that relying on you for X, Y, and Z. And even if you are single, there's still always, like, someone probably somewhere doing something. But I feel like Nigerian men don't exist as human beings. They exist as providers. And there's nothing wrong with being a provider, but if you're not in tune with yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, it's really hard to try to take care of other people. I know some really wealthy Nigerian men that, like, if you see them, where's your money? What are you using your money to do? You are not using your money to take care of yourself. You're more so like, oh, is in the way that I dress, oh, is in the way that the car that I drive, or is in the connection that people are going to. I mean, yeah, all those material things are great and all, but how are you as a person? How are you doing mentally? How are you doing physically? Are you using your money to buy the best type of things? Like, because I don't know, that's the other thing with Nigeria. Maybe people don't like to be doing skincare things. You think, oh, it's too girly, it's woman that be. No, if you have a skin, you can do skincare. Please. So take care of yourself. The average Nigerian man they don't take care of themselves. They use their sources to just get more things or to like just show that they have it. And that's just very exhausting, especially for someone like me that like, okay, you have money. Great. What else? What do you like to do? Do you have a personality? Can you hold a intelligent conversation? Can you stimulate me intellectually? Can we like go band for band? Or do you have substance as a person, or is it just you just have all these material things and you think that's all you need? Does that answer your question?
It does. Got you. So let me just push you just a little bit on
Please.
That. Niger guy, American guy.
When you say American guy, there's a lot. There's a lot in there.
Okay.
Like a Nigerian-American guy.
So Niger guy, whitey.
Oh. I told you I'm very Nigerian. I'm very Nigerian.
So, Niger guy, whitey, pick one.
It's kind of hard a little bit. It's a little difficult because on one hand, a Nigerian man has a lot of like, they have a lot of, like I just resonate with them.
I get you.
It's just the easiest way to say it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like a white guy, I feel as though like the way I think is a lot more in line with the way an average white guy would think as opposed to an average Nigerian. And that's just maybe because I grew up in that system. So I can communicate a lot more. Like they're a lot more open to communication. Like I said, do you have a personality? A person, and not even just like whites specifically, people that grow up outside, they have a lot more like range as a person. While the average Nigerian guy is just, they'll carry you to restaurants, even when you're eating the food don't serve, they'll just be looking at you, a store, they won't have you just, I'm bored. I'm bored, please.
So a Niger guy doesn't stand a chance against a Nigerian-American then?
Not at all. See, if you had given me that option, I would have easily given you the answer. Like, if you get me a guy that is rooted in his culture
Yeah.
as a Nigerian, but still like mentally aware, has the capacity to have conversations, can be vulnerable, can be a human being, a drop of a hat,
Fair enough.
you know?
So tell us one thing about you that people will be surprised about. They don't know.
Some people might know this, but I love to oble. I know. I know I might seem really serious. Oh, she's so logical. But put on some music right now. Everything is gone. It was when I woke up, like one of the things I stumbled upon. I don't know if you've seen, but Olamide had his show in London. And one of the little things he did did a thing was like, oh, I think he like pulled some Pasuma songs like Loyal was shake. Bro, I saw that video and I lost my mind. I was like, if I was there, God, if I not lost, like I would have been gone.
I guess
So,
Kwam
yeah.
One gets you too. Owambe. And on that bombshell note, it's been fantastic talking to you, Mufti.
It was my
Thank you.
absolute pleasure.
Thank
for
you
me.
very, very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you.
And please take the best parts of Niger. And when you do go back, what's it that they say in Yoruba? Ile. Ile labo si mi oko.
Simioku.
So
Absolutely.
we look forward to seeing more of you.
Thank you.
Well
I
done.
appreciate you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
You're welcome.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.